Alright, here's this dumb little segment that CG's been doing where they have, Q&A with us about their new characters. A lot of these have been very dumb, but the last one was okay with Tusken Chieftain. They actually had good questions and good answers. So, maybe other people have been complaining about the dumbassness besides me. I don't know, but we'll see. Let's see what this one's all about. Hopefully this is good. After the cooldown for the abilities, it states that they unlock certain tiers. Is this referring to gear tiers on the character or something else? Yes, this is referring to gear tiers. We'll try to make that clearer in the future. Okay, I actually questioned that as well. Remember, if you saw my kit reveal, it says something like has a Zeta, cooldown 4, let's say, and then unlocks at tier 4. And then I was like, what the heck does that mean? And then after I thought about it, I was like, oh, maybe that means gear tier. It's just something new that they used to not show. Well, there's that question and there's that answer. So my speculation was correct. It is just referring to the gear tier. Did you test her the meta versus the meta? Okay, the meta is like GLs. Like, a Tusken is not going to come anywhere near close to any of these GLs. You think Jedi Master Kenobi's going to lose versus a Tusken squad? No. But let's see their thing. Short answer, yes. Long answer, we could probably be more transparent with our meta testing practices, but suffice it to say that not all accounts are equal in terms of what a squad is capable of. So, your mileage may vary. Why is it all capital? With that being said, there are a lot of meta teams that have high turn meter gains, which Tuskens are designed not to perform against. Okay, that's not the right answer. The right answer is, yeah, we tested against the meta, and of course it got dominated because the meta is GLs. Why doesn't the Territory War Omicron have any synergy with Boba's Scions? Boba Scions. What? The Territory War team should be entirely made up of Tuskens. Boba Synergy was added to make 2 3v3 GAC teams. Yes, I was going to say that myself. I could have easily answered that because, yeah, like exactly like that says. The whole point of this Territory War was to be able to use the whole entire Tusken squad. Where Boba's Synergy was to round out to make 2 3v3s because there's only 5 Tuskens, so you couldn't have 2 full squads. So they made something goofy with Chieftain, so that way then Boba is an honorary Tusken. Why did they say Boba Scions? Boba's Scions. It's just confusing me. I'm trying to figure out what they're trying to say, but it's... I don't know. Why are Tusken Warrior and Chieftain dark side characters? They seem like regular people just living their lives in Book of Boba. Is it pure for game balance purposes? Okay, yes, I talk about this all the time. I just actually talked about it in the kit reveal one, because somebody asked this question in the comment section. Yeah, the comment section, whatever I call it, the community thoughts section. And that's when I said that some stuff shouldn't be light or dark side, it should just be neutral, like droids. For the most part, droids are just robots. Well, I guess they could be programmed to be bad, so maybe not. But like, scoundrels. Scoundrels are just out to do whatever's good for them in the moment. You know, they're not good or bad, they're just looking out for themselves. So all scoundrels should just be neutral. There shouldn't be light or dark. It's kind of like I always go back to Greedo and Han. They both technically worked for Jabba, but because of what we know about their trajectories, we see Han as light side because he ends up pairing with Luke and Obi-Wan, where Greedo is just still a minion for Jabba. But at one point, Han was a minion for Jabba too. He did a job for him, that's why he... Or, actually, no, he owes him money. Why would he owe him money? I don't know, he still did something for Jabba, which is why he owes him money. So, you know, and the only reason Han even did what he did with Luke and Obi-Wan wasn't because he was like, oh yeah, this is a righteous thing I should be doing. No, it was because money. He owed Jabba money. They came along and said, hey, we'll give you this much money for a ride in your ship. And he was like, alright, sounds good to me. I pay off my debt and I got a little extra. He's just looking out for himself. So just like that, the Tuskens, I think it's weird that the Tuskens are dark side. Yeah, we might call them dark side because we've seen what they've done. You know, they attack Luke in the first movie. They kidnap Shmi. They, you know, but it's like, are they bad? No, they're not really bad. They're not light or dark. They're just a group of humanoid creatures, kind of. I mean, are they supposed to be people? I don't think so. They're just creatures, right? Who are just living their lives. They're like bears, you know? I think of Tuskens as like bears. You might categorize a bear as a dark side thing because it's big and strong and can kill a person and all that, but at the end of the day, is a bear really bad? No, it's just living. And then a human comes along and it sees us as a threat, and especially if it has a baby, it's just going to get aggressive and, hey, leave my family alone. And it's just protecting its ground. It doesn't make it bad. That's just like the Tuskens. So anyhow, see, back to this now with CG's answer. CG says, we wanted players to be able to bring a full Tusken squad into Darkside territory battles, and players who are still progressing can use the team in the Darkside table. And what the heck is this phrasing? Is this just me, or did they phrase this weird? And players who are still progressing can use the team in the Darkside table in the cantinas. So yes, mostly about game balance. Okay. It kind of was wording, but I figured out what they were trying to say after. I guess the smarter way to say this is, we wanted to be able to bring a full Tusken squad into the Darkside territory battles, but we also thought, hey, people who are still progressing might be able to unlock these characters and make a team with these characters, and so this will help them in the Darkside Cantina. / regular dark, well, yeah, the regular Darkside battles. I was going to say / that, but because when I think of Cantina, I think of the neutral area, but that whole game mode, the hub world's basically the Cantina, so never mind. That's the other thing, too, actually. This person is talking about they seem like regular people living in the Book of Boba. That's something else I think about. They categorize Boba Fett as Darkside, but it's like, he's not really. He's only categorized as Darkside because we've seen him go up against... Who am I trying to... I think I'm thinking about Jango, but still, whatever we've seen, you know, he's going after... Oh, yeah, Vader hires him out. He's a bounty hunter. But he's not really... bad. Like in Book of Boba, he wasn't even bad. He was kind of good for the community. He was the leader. He protected the area. Like, but they put him as Darkside. Like, okay, cool. Anyways, whenever momentum is removed during an enemy's turn, gain 10 stacks of momentum for 3 turns. Limit once per turn. Does this apply to each Tusken ally? Does it trigger for Warrior when any Tusken ally loses momentum? Or does it only trigger when Warrior loses momentum and only she gains this bonus? I think I might have had that same question too. There's one move that the way it was worded was way too open to interpretation. This could have been it, because there's a bunch of questions here, and maybe. Let's see what CG says. This only applies to Tusken Warrior, the bonus 2, and only applies when it's removed during the enemy's turn. So, she will not regain momentum after using her special 2 or when momentum expires naturally. Okay, so did that answer all the questions? Does it apply to each Tusken? No, it doesn't, just her. Does it trigger for Warrior when any Tusken? No, it has to be during an enemy's turn, and it's only on her. Okay, I guess they answered it good. For finishing strikes, it says deal additional damage up to 5 times at 50% less. Is that 5 times including the first or in addition to? Oh yeah, maybe this is the one I had a question about. Because then it also said something about you could go you could go a bonus turn with 50% more damage. And I was like, well, how does that work? Does that go after this 5 that's 50% less? So then the 50% more is on top of that 50% less, which means you're actually at 75% of normal, or... But anyways, they said the 5 additional stacks do not include the first one, so it can hit up to 7 times. I mean, even though it's dealing less damage, 7 times, that's a lot of hits. I compared that to Rey's move in the kit reveal. I said that's like Rey's move. I don't know what it's called. Her third move, her second special, I guess you can call it, where she does the 3 hits. But geez, this is 7. That's just her standing there for 4 finishing strikes. It says at 10 stacks of momentum, the ability deals 50% more damage. How does that work with the additional damages 50% less damage? Okay, I just mentioned that. Well, that was confusing. So, what did they say? The 50% more damage cancels out the 50% less damage penalty and gives the initial hit 50% more damage. Okay, that's good. That's pretty good, actually. So it cancels that out. Cool. So it's just straight up 50% more damage. Not bad. Does every hit apply a DOT on finishing strikes? No, only the first hit will apply a DOT. Oh man, imagine that'd be a lot of DOTs. You go 7 hits, 7 DOTs. Plus, you get some kind of bonus per DOT, so that would be a lot of bonuses. I guess that's why they did that, for balancing issues. Otherwise, you just get tons of bonuses. What will her relic icon be? Her relic icon will be her Gather Gatterfee stick. How do you say that? Gatterfee stick. Okay, that's kind of a dumb question. Like, why is somebody worried about what her relic icon's gonna be? Who cares? Also, the answer they provided is pretty obvious. I mean, what do you think it's gonna be? Obviously, it's gonna be that. What, you think it's gonna be her mask or something? Like, what? That's a stupid question. Although, at least it's not as stupid as some of these have been in the past. So, you know, I'm only making fun of it because it's literally stupid. It's not, like, seriously stupid. You know what I mean? The difference. Why does Tusken Warrior deal damage before applying defense down and apply defense down before removing enemy debuffs? This is completely backwards. You'd want to remove tenacity up, then apply defense down, then deal damage. You've designed this in order to be frustrating each and every time a player uses it. What? Why does Tusken Warrior deal damage before applying defense down and apply defense down before removing enemy debuffs? Unfortunately, this is how our game functions in terms of order of operations. We have limited control over this and make it as player-friendly as we can when possible. What are you talking about? You have limited control over this. You guys literally designed this game and built it up. You can change it and do whatever you need to do. You don't have limited, you have full control. What are you talking about? That would be like Tesla vehicles having problems and Elon Musk is like, oh, well, this is just how we design them. There's nothing, I have limited control. Like, no, bro, you invented the car. You can do whatever you got to do to fix it. Like, what? I don't think that what? You've designed this in order to be frustrating each and every time a player uses it. I don't see how that would be a problem, though, just because if it's backwards, who cares? You're going to deal damage, then you apply defense down. If it's a guaranteed thing, it's a guaranteed thing. So they're taking the damage, they're getting defense down. I mean, I guess you're saying you'd want the defense down first, other than the damage that hits harder, I guess. But still, at the end of the day, they're going to have defense down on them. And then you remove all the buffs. So that, I don't know, I guess they're saying if they have the buffs, but you're doing the damage, the buffs could help them. I don't know, whatever. Do you speak Tusken language? I only understand TSL, Tusken Sign Language. So we're going to need an interpreter. Okay, here we go. That was a very dumb one. You didn't have to add that in. This question brought nothing to understanding anything about this new character. It's just a stupid question some idiot asked as a joke, and then you dumbasses answer it and actually put it in this forum. Like, really? Will the Tusken Warrior pilot Red 5? Interesting take. Okay, that's another very dumb question. Why would you waste your time including that? Like, this person's just an idiot being a troll. No, the Tusken's not gonna pilot anything because they don't pilot anything. That's not what they do. They're just humanoid creatures that live in the desert. Stupid. Anyhow, how do you think this team will fare without a tank to keep the more weak members safe? Weak spelled like days, you know, in terms of months rather than power. Tusken Chieftain's leader gives all Tuskens 20% defense and resistance for each stack of momentum on them, which should let his Tusken allies survive, even without a tank. Wait a minute, this is for each stack? I don't remember his kit too well. Plus, since we didn't have the warrior yet, I feel like you need to know both kits to fully understand the full utility of them. So since we didn't have warrior when Chieftain came out, some of that stuff probably didn't make as much sense as it would now. But anyways, this is saying for each stack of momentum. So you're saying like if you had 5 stacks of momentum, you would have 100% defense and resistance bonus on you? I guess that's decent-ish. That could help the Tuskens. I mean, they still are gonna suck. Like, think about he sucks. So I don't think that's gonna do too much for him, but he'll do something, I guess. Why does the Tusken Warrior cause enemies to lose tenacity only after dots expire? How am I supposed to land those dots in the first place if the enemy has high tenacity? And if I'm capable of landing them, why do I need to reduce their tenacity at all? This will help counter teams who gain tenacity over time and will help greatly against teams who have high tenacity to begin with. Okay, I mean, I guess I see where this person's coming from. They do have points. Like, if the enemy has super high tenacity, how are you supposed to even land any DOTs? It's not going to happen. And then if you are landing them, no problem. That means their tenacity is not that high, so why do you need to reduce it for? It's not going to benefit you any. You're gonna have the same outcome. So I get their question, but I mean at the same time, it's not gonna hurt to have the tenacity be reduced. Although it is weird that it's after DOTs expire, so that's what they're saying. Like if I can't even land them in the first place, that means the tenacity is never gonna go down because there's no DOTs landing on them to expire. I don't know. Maybe it's a good question. I might have looked into that one a little bit too much while I was critiquing it. Can we be friends? Do you have a pickup truck? If yes, then let's talk. Okay, that was really pointless. Why would you include that in your forum? That is not teaching us anything about this character at all. That's just a stupid question that some idiot asked, and then you guys actually answer it and put it. Look, just DM this person. Why is Tusken Meathead not a character? We wanted to pull Tuskens up, not bring them down. Rude. Meathead. There's another really dumbass question. I mean, I guess the joke is because he calls himself Tusken Meathead. But at the same time, he's not a fucking Star Wars character. That's why he's not in the game. That's why he's not a character. Whoever answered this, though, they did a good job. They wanted to pull Tuskens up, not bring them down. I think this Meathead guy's a dickhead. I'm not a fan of him at all. This was supposed to be a short-term position for him as community manager, and it's gone on for like a year and a half now. And I wish we would get a real community manager, maybe somebody that's better than Meathead. Ugh. Anyways, God, this thing is long. Like, it's still going? Do all of her damage increases stack with each other, or are they applied separately? She has 2 on her second special and 1 in her unique. Tusken Warrior's damage increases will stack with each other. Do all of her damage increases stack with each other, or are they applied separately? Okay, I'm not familiar with. I don't remember the specific part of the kit that's talking about damage increases, so I can't really relate to what this is talking about. So I guess on a generic sense, do all of her stack increases? I mean, do her damage increases stack with each other? The answer is yes, they do. So okay, cool, I guess. With the inclusion of the new Tuskens, it seems you are adding characters from established shows instead of nuances and ancillary characters from comic books. Why was the decision made? We have the Crate Raid upcoming and obviously wanted Tuskens to be a part of it. And Book of Boba Fett gave us a couple new Tuskens we could add. This made their inclusion a no-brainer. The second we saw Tusken Warrior in the show, we wanted to get her into the game. I mean, at the end of the day, also, you had a faction that had potential. There's a lot of Tuskens, and we had 3. So at least now you finally rounded out, and we have a full squad. Also, you know, it just makes sense. We had Book of Boba. That's fresh in everyone's minds. Like, you know, put the extra Tuskens in. It might seem kind of boring that you're choosing Tuskens, but it makes sense. Like, that's kind of a dumb question. Borderline dickhead question, just because you want stuff from comics. Can the tenacity reduction on her unique be resisted? No. Okay, that's good. Alright, there it is. So, this was going pretty strong. I was pretty happy with this. I was going to say, this was actually a very solid Q&A. All good questions that pertain directly to the kit, and all pretty solid answers. And then we got to the bottom, and then there was a ton of dickhole questions that are just a waste of time. And it's like, oh, here they go, doing this nonsense again. Come on, CG. If you're gonna do this Q&A, like, make it serious. Serious people like me are here to try to learn a little bit more about the character that we couldn't glean from the kit itself. So we come here to see what people have asked and get real answers so we can understand the character better. You know, a question like, can we be friends? A question like some dumb wannabe Tusken language. A question like, how come, you know, Tusken Meathead's not a character? Those aren't teaching us anything. Those are wastes of time. Those are stupid questions that stupid people asked. Potentially just being trolls because they think it's funny that they can actually go in there and just write anything they want. So don't entertain it. Ignore it. Either A, straight up ignore it, or B, if you do answer it, do it privately to the person themselves. Give the answer to them in their inbox or something. Whatever you can do that answers them directly. Don't waste the community's time with these dumb questions in here. Give us the good ones like this one right here after the cooldown. That's a good question. That's a good question. Third one's a good question. Kind of. It's stupid, but like I said earlier, it's, you know, it's stupid, but it's not stupid. That one's a good question. That one's a good question. Like, these are all good questions. Keep these type of questions, not the stupid ones that people are just joshing around with you. Anyways, that is all I have for this one. So, if you made it through the whole entire thing with me, thanks a whole bunch. And until next time, which might actually be the video of me unlocking this character, I said see ya.